Good morning, everyone. You don't have to respond. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this. I've never understood what the point of these memorials and remembrances is, but I just needed to do it, and I'm really grateful that you're all here. And so did the family, and so we decided we're just going to do it and have a gathering and remember my brother. I'm really delighted that so many people have shown up, because he was really, as the Imam at his service said, he was a stranger here. And some of you have met him only once. Some have. There's a friend of mine who's flown in all the way from Texas who hasn't met him at all. So ever, but he just felt like he had to be here. So I'm really touched. And I'm not going to thank everyone individually right now, except to say that Sarika and Elizabeth, thank you so much, because I did none of the inviting. They took all the burden of sending out the invitations and keeping track, and I got a list saying here people will come in. I will mention that a very pleasant surprise is that people, I have a number of people from out of town, family, and I will call them out if they're not embarrassed. Should I do that? My sister from New York, my brother-in-law, Ali from New York, my cousin Nasir, I'm going by age a little bit. Cousin Nasir from North Carolina and his wife who's down with the flu. And Irfan, my nephew, who a lot of you know. Alia, my cousin's daughter. There she is, yeah. And Saif, my younger brother's son from Purdue. Yeah. And Shabi from Iowa. And my good friend Mozam, who's just walked in. This is the guy from Texas and whose daughter is offered to do the reading. So anyway, what I want to do is just take a few minutes, and that's not on the program, because like I said, some of you got to know him very well during his illness. You spent hours and hours, and I cannot express my gratitude for that. But most of you really didn't know him beyond the illness. So I just want to tell you a little bit about him, and then the readings that people will do will tell you a little bit more about who he was. And in fact, I'm discovering some stuff about him from what people have written. So he was born in a town called Lucknow in India, and it's a small town by comparison, but I suspect the population is more. But the important thing than Boston, which in India almost every town is, but it was a seat of culture in India, and it competed with Delhi for the arts and poetry and everything. And so that's where he was born. And then we all had our educations, interestingly, in convents. So his first school that he went to was called St. Francis Convent. And we all went to that, and he loved it, and there'll be pictures on that poster and here. And the second school he went to, so my mother thought he was the firstborn son, so he needed to get a special education, so she sent him to boarding school. And that was also St. Francis Convent High, and that was in Lucknow, and he hated it. From day one, he absolutely hated it. Now, there were nuns in one place and priests in the others. I'm not sure what it was, but he escaped that one, and he loved the St. Francis that we all went to. And then, after that, he went to university in India, in Aligarh University, and then got his first engineer. So he got his college degree at Aligarh University, and he got his first engineering degree in Kashmir, University of Srinagar in Kashmir. And then went on to Edinburgh and got his PhD in civil structural engineering in Edinburgh. And I was very envious at that time, because my sister, my brother-in-law, and he were all getting their PhDs at the same time in Edinburgh, and they were together. And I was in Arkansas, so fly over. And so that's really a little bit about him. Besides the 4 siblings that he leaves behind, he has he leaves behind a son and a daughter and a grandson, Mustafa. So you probably hear from them very briefly at the end. See, I never write my speeches, but I did. So I think with that, I'm going to hand this over to Ali, who's going to be the Master of Ceremonies. We're going to make this reasonably brief, and we're going to start with these multicultural interfaith presentations, so that we can sort of focus a little bit, and then we'll move on to some remembrance. There are 2 prepared remarks, as you'll see, and then there will be some messages from the family, and then after that we'll open the floor, and maybe there'll be comments from people who are here who knew him, and I won't say much more of my gratitude, which I might have time to say that, but I am most grateful to all of you.
Thank you, Tayyaba. Greetings, Assalamu alaikum, Namaskar, Shalom, and Sat Shri Akal. That's all I know about different salutations. Today we are all here to remember our very dear late Syed Sardar Hasan Sahab, marhum. Sardar Bhai to some, Sardar Bhai to others, Chacha Appa to some, Sardar Mamu to some other people, and just Sardar probably to some of the friends. All those who knew him loved him immensely. Many like me have been grateful and fortunate that he spent the last few years of his life in Boston, and we got to know him better. So as we start the program, if you can please silence your cell phones or mute them or put them on a vibrate mode so don't disturb the proceedings here. You all have a copy of the program today. If you don't have, some more copies of the programs at the entrance. So as we start, like the Baba said, we'll have the 3 segments or 4 segments to our today's event, which will be multicultural readings, remembrances, messages, and closing remarks. As I invite people to come and present or read from the various scriptures or their own remembrances, to please briefly introduce yourself, who you are, how you got to know Sardar Bhai and the family, and also to what you are presenting. Because in the mixed gathering, many may not know the context of your text. So that would be great to tell briefly about your readings. So I invite, firstly, Mr. Syed, who was, as the Baba said, is fluent, and he just is in time to start our remembrances for Sardar Bhai with a Surah Fatiha. Muslim.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. My name is Syed. I'm from Dallas. Tayyaba is the first Pakistani lady I met at Arkansas when I arrived in 1975. And later something I might say. But for now, Surah Fatiha, that's what I decided. This is the first surah of Quran. It is also referred to and revered as mother of Quran. all Muslims are required to recite in their daily 5 prayers. That is for a minimum of 17 times or about 32 times every day. In it, generally speaking, in it is a submission that all exaltation and prayers are for Allah, who is the sole sustainer of all the worlds, emphasis on worlds, most merciful, most gracious, master of the day of judgment. He alone we worship, He alone we ask. Thank you.
And now it's my turn. My name is Ali Rizvi, and I will recite Salam by Miranese. The Salam is Shabih Imam Zama Khechte Hain by Miranese, but then a little background. Muharram is the first month of the Islamic calendar, and the month marks the anniversary of the Battle of Karbala, when Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, was killed by the forces of Yazid, the then corrupt ruler. Imam Hussein took a stand for social justice, human rights, and raised his voice against it. Not only him, but the family members accompanying Imam Hussein were killed or subjected to severe humiliation. Imam Hussein made the supreme sacrifices, and to remember Imam Hussein and to draw inspiration from him and the martyrs of Karbala during Muharram, gatherings or majlis are held in which typically a soz, a marsiya, salam are recited. So today what I have is a salam basically is a poem of serious reflection, typically to highlight the virtues on and lament for the martyrs of Karbala. It is recited at the all gatherings to mourn the martyrs. The soz is typically followed by salam and the marsiya, today I'll say the salam, and they are typically 2 or 4 liners.